I knew something was wrong the second I pulled into the gravel driveway. The cabin was glowing, every light blazing, shadows dancing against the curtains, music faint but unmistakable. Laughter spilled out into the night air, loud and careless. My cabin. My sanctuary. And yet it sounded like a stranger's house. I froze on the porch, my hand hovering over the doorknob. My heart sank. I had left my family with a very clear boundary. This cabin is mine. It's where I heal, where I breathe, where I escape the chaos you always drag behind. And now a broken bar, they were inside. When I pushed the door open, the sight hit me like a storm. My cousins crowded the living room, drinks in hand, the rug I picked out already stained. My sister shouted over the music, her shoes kicked off on the couch where I usually curled up with a book. And my mother, my own mother, stood in the kitchen stirring a pot of chili like she owned the place. Surprise! They shouted, glasses raised. I didn't feel surprise. I felt betrayal. The cabin wasn't just a piece of property. It was the only thing my late grandmother left me. It was her dream, her fingerprints still woven into the quilt on my bed, her smell lingering faintly in the wooden beams. She had always told me, this is where you'll find peace when the world gets loud. And the world was loud. My family never stopped arguing, gossiping, or pulling me into their endless dramas. I had drawn a line at the cabin, and they had bulldozed right over it. Why are you here? I asked, my voice shaking. My mother smiled like I was being dramatic. Oh, honey, don't be so uptight. It's just a party. We thought you'd be happy to host everyone. You've got space, after all. Her words twisted the knife deeper. We thought you'd be happy. As if my happiness was something they got to define. The night spiraled from there. They poured more drinks, turned up the music, and brushed me off every time I tried to protest. My sister laughed in my face when I asked her to take her shoes off the couch. You're no fun, she sneered. My cousins ran in and out of rooms like children, one even tracking mud across the floor I had scrubbed just that morning. I stood in the middle of it all, invisible in my own home. My chest ached with the familiar heaviness of the weight of always being the quiet one, the serious one, the one no one ever listened to. And then a broken bar, the door opened again. The sound of boots on the porch. The creak of the hinge. My husband stepped inside. He had been away for weeks working a grueling job out of state, finally coming home for rest. His face lit up when he saw me. But then he froze at the sight of the chaos. His eyes swept over the crowd, the mess, the strangers occupying every inch of the cabin. And I'll never forget the way his jaw tightened, his fists clenching at his sides. What is this? He demanded, his voice cutting through the noise like thunder. For once, everyone stopped. This, he said, looking straight at my family, is her home, her safe place. And you've turned it into a circus. The silence that followed was deafening. No one had ever spoken to my family like that, not even me. I had always swallowed my protests, smoothed things over, tried to keep the peace. But he broken bar, he was a storm I didn't know I needed. My mother scoffed, but there was no hiding the flush on her cheeks. We were just trying to have fun. She takes everything too seriously. No. He interrupted sharply. She sets boundaries, and you break them. That's not fun. That's disrespect. My throat tightened, tears stinging my eyes. For years I had felt like I was fighting this battle alone, drowning in their disregard. And here he was, standing beside me, finally making them see what I could never say loud enough. Slowly, awkwardly, my family began to leave. My sister grabbed her shoes without a word. My cousins shuffled out, muttering excuses. Even my mother, who had never backed down from anything in her life, left with a glare that couldn't disguise the sting of shame. When the last car pulled away, the silence was heavy, broken only by the ticking of the old clock on the wall. I looked around at the mess of empty cups, crumbs, stained set and felt despair bubbling up. But my husband walked over, took my face in his hands, and whispered, "You don't have to fight them alone anymore. I've got you." And in that moment, something shifted inside me. For the first time, I believed it. We spent the next morning cleaning together, laughing a little at the absurdity of it all. The cabin slowly returned to itself, a quiet, steady, full of peace again. But more importantly, I realized something: boundaries mean nothing unless you enforce them. And sometimes, the strongest thing you can do is stand your ground, even if it means standing against the people you love. My family didn't come back to the cabin after that night. The silence held, and though it hurt at times, it also healed. I knew they had finally learned where the line was drawn. And the lesson I carry, the one I hope you carry too, is this: your peace matters. You are not selfish for protecting it. The people who truly love you will respect your boundaries. And the ones who don't, maybe they were only ever taking, not giving. Because family isn't just who you're born to, it's who stands beside you when the storm comes through the door.